Hello Stampin' friends. It's Julia Mazur with Simply She Stamps with a Lunch and Learn. I know I've been a little MIA. It's been kind of a rough fall, but I'm looking forward to getting back to our weekly videos here. Today I have a card to show you with some beautiful embossing, and we're going to use our blending brush to get some added color there. I'm using the Decorated with Happiness bundle. It's a stamp set that also comes with dies, and we're using a few of these dies today, and I do have some extra cards to show you. Don't forget to stamp your envelopes, and with this dark color, this shaded spruce, you want to make sure you put a piece of basic white in there, and you can even stamp on that. So let me show you how I put this card together. I'm going to try to see if I can get on my Facebook page here in case there's anyone watching live. And if you have any comments, there we go. Let's see. If you have comments while we're live or on a replay, please post them and I will be happy to answer them. So we're starting with our shaded spruce card base. Let's see here. All right, I'm trying to get this pulled up. It doesn't want to. Okay. Anyhow, shaded spruce card base. This piece is a Blushing Bride. It's 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have to tell you, I was inspired by this card in the back of the mini catalog. Sorry, I should have showed you this before I started stamping. There it is. I was inspired by this card. Let's see, do we have a glare on there? And it reminded me of a card that I made many, many years ago. I'm talking like 10 plus years, that had a cute little ornament, and we used daubers or sponges. I don't even think we had daubers then. Sponges to add that color. So the blending brushes work really nice with this. Okay, I'm going to start with my shaded spruce ink and my large bow stamp here. And I'm going to ink it up. Sometimes with these large ones, I put them flat and then ink them up like that. And then after maybe the first time, they seem to ink up well. Oh, before I forget, I am using photopolymer. So I'm going to grab my mat here. This was part of the Stamparatus, so I'm going to put it under. Need to shimmy it under. A little out of practice here, so sorry. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to make it look like it is a Christmas tree with the boughs. And I'm going to aim up high, kind of. There we go. And I want to make it a full Christmas tree, so I'm going to ink it up again and add some more Christmas tree. Sometimes these large stamps, you need to make sure you put good pressure. You know, this is a little blotchy right here, but that's okay. All right, so that's that. I'm going to close up my shaded spruce, and I'm going to grab my Sweet Sorbet. It's a beautiful red. You know, the Pantone colors are the color of the year for 2023 came out, and it looks very similar to the Sweet Sorbet. Okay, inking up this. And I'm going to grab my mat again, so sorry, to make sure I get a good image. And where am I going to put this? I'm going to put that there. And this one's just going to be a little bit lower. There we go. I did not do that very well. Let's see if I can get... Okay, well, at least I have my nice sample. I could go in there with my marker I needed to add that. I'm going to add some color, so that'll be fine. Now what I'm going to do, because if you look on my sample here, I actually embossed the sentiment and some of these little sparkles. So I noticed when I was starting my card, my shaded spruce ink took a while to dry. And if you emboss right now, that embossing powder is going to stick to that. So I'm going to take my heat tool off camera and just, well, I guess I can do it here because I got it here. It's just going to be noisy. I'm going to dry it a little bit. So the heat tool isn't just for embossing. It dries your ink. Sometimes even the classic ink takes a little bit longer to dry. Depends on some of the colors. And then I'm going to take my embossing buddy before I stamp any ink. And that's going to kind of help me to make sure the embossing powder does not stick anywhere else except where I want it to stick. Okay, I'm inking up my Sentiment in Versamark, which is a sticky ink. I have some dog hair right there. And I tried doing this before I stamped my ornaments, but then my sparkles weren't ending up really I wanted them to be. Okay, I'm going to do this kind of quickly before the ink dries. I'm going to put a sparkle up here and a sparkle down here. Then I'm going to take my gold embossing powder. It comes in a little container like this. We do have this cool tray that you can do this instead of sprinkling on over a Tupperware dish or a Gladware dish, and you want to make sure you cover your ink pad so you don't get powder all over that. Let's see how we did here. Oh, I got a little bit of powder right there. Probably because I put lotion on my hands right before getting on here. Oh, so it's gonna maybe have some extra powder. All right, now I'm gonna heat it with the heat tool, and hopefully you'll be able to see that powder turn shiny. It's the magic of embossing. My daughter was making our company Christmas cards yesterday, and she was really hoping to emboss. Maybe you couldn't hear me over the sound of the heat tool, but my daughter loves the embossing. Okay, so here we go. Here we have our, let's just scooch that over there. I don't want the embossing to get on my ink pad, that extra embossing powder. Okay, now I have a Flirty Flamingo ink pad. Remember, I have Blushing Bride cardstock, and I just wanted a little bit darker color. So I'm going to pick up some ink on my blending brush, and I'm just going to go right on there and burnish some color. And it kind of just gives it that glow you see from your Christmas lights. And I actually did a little bit up here in the corner. I just kind of went around that way. It's just some nice subtle color. Okay, so here we go, and I could just put it on the card just like that, but I wanted to add just a little bit more sparkle, so I have some gold foil paper here, and instead of cutting a whole piece, I just cut some little strips there. They're 1/4 inch strips. I'm going to take my liquid glue, and I'm going to put a line of glue on the edge, and I'm just going to do one edge at a time. I learned my lesson. And stick that little strip of gold on and do the second edge. I tried doing both edges at once and then just got glue all over myself. So just one at a time. Let's turn that over. All right. And if your edges there, let me grab my paper snips. That gold foil overhangs a little bit too much. All you need to do is trim that down. That's very little. Okay, and then I took our Stampin' Dimensionals, pardon my reach, and I put 5 on here. There we go. Pull the backs of those off. And I'm going to put that on my card, and I'm going to kind of off-center it because I'm going to add a little bow of gold cord, and I'm keeping it attached to my roll, and I'm just tying a bow so you don't waste. You just need to take what you're going to use and not waste so much. And I am gonna kind of make the tails fairly long. Okay, and I'm gonna grab a glue dot. I'm gonna use my U-Pick tool and grab a glue dot. Kind of, let's see, am I on camera? I'm gonna kind of fold it over as I take it off, just because I don't need the whole. Oops, there they go. And I'm gonna stick this on my card and then stick my bow. So I don't have to wrap the cord all around the card there. And now I have my little sparkles that I cut out of the foil using my dies. And I am just gonna add some of the sparkles. Where do I wanna add them? I'm gonna add one up here. Let's see, it's kind of here. You know, each card is different, so they kind of end up in different places on each card. Okay, and I'm gonna use my U-Pick tool again. Oh, hold on, I gotta turn off my volume there. My computer, all of a sudden, the volume came on, and you may have heard that. Some feedback. Okay. There we go. So there is our finished card on the outside. And then on the inside, I'm going to grab my sweet sorbet. And this cute ornament, I'm going to stamp that in the corner. And I could put, you know, Christmas greetings or something on there, but I'm just going to leave a lot of space to write a message for this card. And then the basic white goes on the inside, so you have a nice frame for your message. And as you can see, I stamped the envelope as well, left enough space to address it. There we go. There are the cards that I made, kind of like a reliving of the past card. I couldn't even find it in my stash. And then let me show you. This is a card that was inspired by the card in the catalog. Kind of stepped it down a little bit. This was such a beautiful card with lots of the gold foil, and this is the gold foil. They embossed the greeting here. I just used the garden green and added some of the cute little stars. And this paper is, what is it called? It's the one with the Santa. It is the Santa Express paper, and it was very great B-sides if you didn't like the petal pink side with all the Santas. So we have this one, and we also have this cute one that used the, what was this called? Whimsical Woodland Embossing Folder, which is actually on sale for just $4. And this paper is from the Hostess paper in the back of the mini catalog, the Celebrate Everything 12 by 12. If you have a $150 order or gather orders for a $150 workshop, this is a host only item, and it's 48 sheets of designer series paper. You may have seen me use some of those in past projects, and this is only available until January 4th. So you might want to take advantage of our last chance items and the clearance rack. Here's our December hostess code, and you can shop online at jmazur.stampinup.net. And tomorrow, for one day only, there is free shipping. So it's a great time to stock up on some things or actually get your last chance products and the clearance rack items. So free shipping for $75 orders or more, one day only. And remember, you can find my shop at jmazur.stampinup.net. I hope you enjoyed today's card with the embossing and adding the subtle color with our blending brushes. Very excited that coming in January we'll have smaller blending brushes, so those will be good to get into those little areas. Thanks for joining me today for Lunch and Learn, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.